Hello, colors. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to discuss on some interesting updates. We start with Vitor Roque as Barca have set a date for the incoming new signing, Vitor Roque, and of course, his debut is already known. We are going to discuss on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about this report claiming that Fermin Lopez, of course, is already indispensable for Xavi Hernandez. We are also going to discuss more on that. So as we get right into the full story, please do ensure to subscribe, turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. On Thursday, reports in Spain emerged confirming Barcelona's plans to register incoming new signing Vitor Roque in January. The Blaugrana had signed the Brazilian forward in the summer from Atlético Paranaense, but he was left at the Brazilian club due to financial fair play problems. The long-term injury to Gavi opened up the way for the Catalans to register Roque in January, though, with the 18-year-old now all set to join the La Liga champions for the second half of the season. Now, Mundo Deportivo's Roger Torello has come up with a fresh report outlining Barcelona's plans to incorporate Vitor Roque into the squad in January 2024. It must be remembered that Roque had recently sustained an ankle injury which had led him to miss a string of matches for Atlético Paranaense. However, the 18-year-old has fully recovered from the issue now and is closing in on a return and will play the final few games of the season in Brazil for Atletico. As per the report, Roque's final appearance for the Brazilian outfit will come on December 6th when they take on Cuba. Following that, Roque, fondly known as Triguinho, will go on a vacation before arriving in Barcelona around the 20th of December, which is when the Catalans will be going into the mid-season break in La Liga. Roque is expected to join training under Xavi soon after, and the idea is for him to make his Barcelona debut in their first game of 2024 against Las Palmas, which is slated for January 3rd, so that he is in fine shape for the Spanish Super Cup, which will take place a week later in Saudi Arabia. Of course, Vitor Roque is now sure that he will become a Barca player this January. And of course, we all know this is facilitated by Gavi's injury. And of course, Gavi's injury has meant that Barcelona will have space on their wage bill to bring in Vitor Roque quite easily. Barca also had that opportunity if they wanted to sign maybe another player to replace Gavi, as La Liga is open or La Liga rules permit the club to do that if they wish. So Vitor Roque is now certain that he will join Barcelona in the January window, as this report claims that the first game of the year in 2024, which will be against Las Palmas, will likely be the game where Vitor Roque will make his Barcelona debut. And of course, which means that we have finally gotten our man, because there were a lot of conflicting reports even before the Gavi injury that Vitor Roque, will he join the club in January or will he join but next summer? And with the way things were going, it was just so complicated to even think that it will be possible for him to join. But right now, it is now very certain, as reliable sources have claimed, that the young striker will be available, at Barcelona in January next year. And this will come as a huge relief for the Barca administration, for the sporting director, for Xavi Hernandez. Of course, this season we know attacking wise we have not been doing quite well. There have been a lot of goal droughts, and I think Vitor Roque coming will be a good time for him to come to assist Lewandowski up front and the other forwards as well. Vitor Roque, by the way, he's a striker, but he can also play a winger. I mean, he's versatile up front, and I think he'll be a great help for us. Still 18 years of age, he still has a lot to play, and I think we need to manage him considering his young age. And of course, gradually, he will be phased into the team until when, Lewandowski, for instance, will leave as he's becoming older. Then Vitor Roque will stand a chance to be the sole striker, owning that position for himself. So as it stands right now, the player is set to arrive, and the game against Las Palmas, which will take place on the 3rd of January, will likely be the game that he makes his debut. What a historic game that might be if he indeed makes his debut on that match. Then on to the final story of discussion. La Masia, Barcelona's factory of talents, is forming a habit of churning out young talents capable of slotting into the first team at the dawn of every season. This recent trend has helped Barca overcome their financial crisis, and this season the involvement of youth players has allowed the club to suppress the severity of their injury crisis. While out of the youngsters from the academy, Fermin Lopez has earned the most acclaim, along with Lamine Yamal, as he proceeds to show no signs of inexperience among the big boys. Indeed, according to Sport, Fermin is one of the biggest revelations of the season, and his impressive start to the season has seen him earn Xavi's complete trust. Although he is practically regarded as a first-team member, the Spanish midfielder still remains a record with Barca Athletic. The 20-year-old midfielder played one match with the reserve team on the 3rd day against Nastic. Having received a sending off, he has yet to feature for Rafa Marquez men again, with his place alongside the seniors secured. Fermin's participation on the first team has been nothing but positive. Not only is Xavi moved by his performances on the pitch, but in the dressing room, behind closed doors, he is equally loved by the Barca squad members. Moving forward, Xavi aims to provide more opportunities to the young star. After all, his exhibitions have warranted such faith. Despite many unfortunate incidents in the final third, Fermin has already scored twice, and his participation in the opposition box renders him a unique asset to behold. Gavi's injury is by no means the primary factor keeping the coach from having faith in him. Rather, the young sensation has worked hard to advance in his career and hopes to firmly establish himself as a member of the first team squad. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye bye.